Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a review of the Moonswatch Mission to Earthphase Moonshine Gold Edition. This was just released today, August 9th, for one day only. Now Swatch said that this wasn't a limited edition, but just a limited time release. They basically said we don't have limited quantities, we're just gonna release it on one day. So that's just a fancy way of saying yes, this is basically, consider this a limited edition. You can see here, at least in Canada, it was 500 Canadian dollars. So a little bit more expensive than your other moon swatches. I think other moon swatches are about 360 Canadian dollars, 350, somewhere around there. So a little bit more expensive. This one was crazy. I think in Toronto, there was 300 people waiting. Here in Edmonton, I think about 100 people were waiting at the peak time. So I was number 7 in line. Took me 5 hours to get this watch. So it took a lot of work, and I hope it's worth it. I hope you guys agree that this is worth it. So let's unbox this. So when unboxing it, we get this flashlight. Now this flashlight will come in handy later. It's actually pretty useful. It's a UV light, like a black light, and it'll help us see that special message on the dial, which I'll get to later. Instruction manual. So this instruction manual, we're actually going to use it to kind of guide this video because everything special about this watch actually is contained or is explained in this instruction manual booklet. And then the watch is not here because I thought I would spare you the trouble of seeing me trying to, unbox it completely. It's already here. When I left the store, I just kept it on my wrist because I want to show it off as soon as possible. So here's the watch. Let me set it down here. Let's look through this instruction manual. And again, if you're interested in dimensions and the functions, I think everyone knows the Moonswatch now. It has exact same dimensions as other Moonswatches. It just has a few extra complications that make it special. So this is what the dial looks like. Horological innovation with a Moonshine Gold twist. So this is a new chapter, blah, 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 Snoopy. That's basically the big thing about this dial here, is that there is Snoopy and Woodstock at the 3 o'clock position. So if we bring out the actual watch, you can see he's right there at the not 3 o'clock, that's 9 o'clock. If you look at the 2 o'clock, you can see the evolution of the moon in its 28-day cycles. You can see that right over there. You can marvel at its design, inspired by August sturgeon moon, glowing with Omega's moonshine gold. So what does that mean? The sturgeon moon, you can see, is actually it's at the bottom there. I don't know if you can see it well, but there's a net cast over the moon, and I'm guessing that's because sturgeon are fish, so it's kind of like you're catching the moon. And you can see a little paw print at the other moon and some more cartoonish moon there. And you can kind of see it's the gold color of these moons is that moonshine gold, which I don't know, someone said online, I think it says that they make this gold during a full moon, but I don't think that actually makes a difference at all. What does make a difference is that it's not pure gold. I think it's a gold alloy, which gives it kind of that more faint, more muted appearance of gold rather than a shiny yellow gold. So let's keep going through this instruction manual. I am glad that there's a description and then the picture. So let's look at this. It says 10 o'clock counter. You can witness the evolution of planet Earth just as it appears from space, from a full Earth at a new moon to a new Earth during a full moon. So full Earth, this would be a half Earth. Full Earth would be a completely exposed Earth. Right now, that would be a new Earth. So the Earth phase is basically if you view the Earth, if you were sitting on the moon, if Snoopy was looking at the Earth right now, today it's a new Earth. So full moon, new Earth. You can't see the Earth from the moon. Let me go ahead and pull this out. Oh, it was already pulled out. Oops. This is my second take of the video. So you can see the second hand is now ticking. If you were wondering if the watch was broken earlier in this video, I just had it pulled out. So let's just pull it out again. So the clock is stopped. I'm gonna, if I can just press this once, it's gonna slowly transition the moon phase and Earth phase, but that's gonna take too long. So you can just press and hold it, and it's gonna cycle quicker, just in a second here. There we go. So now the moon is mostly hidden. Now you can see the Earth just over there. Let me just adjust the time so you can see it better. Let's adjust it to there. So now you can see the Earth. It's like a more of a cartoonish Earth, and you can also see the Earth. In the back, it says, "I beat everybody." So let's keep going. So again, 10 o'clock has that Earthphase. By blending Snoopy's imagined universe with Omega's Moonshine, it adds a playful and unexpected twist to Omega's iconic Speedmaster model. I agree with that. There's not that many watches that look like this, honestly. This is the second Moonswatch, and I think the second watch in the world that has an Earthphase complication. But this one also has the extra twist of having Snoopy. And yeah, it even says there, you can see the moon from the Earth, you can see the Earth from the moon. Let's keep going. So again, that's a much better detailed drawing of the that sturgeon moon and that Snoopy moon. So the moon phase, again, let me adjust this time. So we've seen the Earth, more or less. Let's go ahead and see the moon. So you can see I'm just pressing and holding the bottom pusher. Perfect, almost perfect. Now you can't see the bottom one. Let me change the time again so you can see it. That's better. Now you can see that moon. You can kind of see the glistening of the stars behind it too. So that's the sturgeon moon, and that's I'm just gonna call it the Snoopy moon. So yes, the full moon, the moon indicator, we have the Earth phase indicator, we have the Snoopy illustration. They're in astronaut gear. This whole case here is in a new blue bioceramic color. So it's kind of similar to the mission to Neptune and mission on Earth moon swatches. Again, it's like that blue, deep blue color, but apparently it's exclusive to this model, and I believe them. I don't think I've seen this tone before. Let's keep going here. So, oh yeah, sparkling effect. So you can see, I want to zoom in really close here. You can see the seconds hand, the minute hand, the hour hand, the chronograph hand. How kind of that blue sparkle. It's kind of the blue sparkle you see on the background of the Earth phase and the moon phase. It kind of gives off that sparkle effect. It's also in the ring around the dial. So that probably gives it that kind of space vibe, kind of that space tone. So there's that. And new strap. Yeah, we should talk about that new strap. So this is the new Moonswatch strap. Now the older models don't come with it by default, but you can actually purchase it online, or I think even in person. It's a little bit more expensive, but definitely feels more premium. I think the Moonswatches came with a Velcro strap that didn't inspire confidence in terms of longevity, durability, but these ones definitely do. You have a quick release strap, kind of gives a more like a kind of like a rubber strap slash Velcro strap hybrid. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels a lot more sturdy, a lot more premium, which is good because again, this watch was like $150 more, $140, $150 more than your typical Moonswatch. So it came to they used the money for good. You know, they made the strap better. Also this strap, which I'm now gonna put on my wrist. I feel like I've kept you all waiting too long. You can notice that it fits better. This is offered in, I think 4 sizes: small, medium, large, and extra large. And I really appreciate that. It makes it much more, personalized to your wrist. That way you don't feel like there's overhang or underhang. There should be a strap that fits you. So let's finish this video, or like continue this video with the wrist shot. And again, I have a 6-inch wrist. So let's talk about that message. Let's talk about this flashlight here. So yeah, when I shine this flashlight at the 9 o'clock position, you will see a secret message from Snoopy. So I'm going to shine this here, and you can see it says, "I beat everybody." And the Earth is hidden. I wonder if the Earth has anything special. So let me just briefly take this off. And yes, I do wear my watches on my right wrist. So I'm going to take this off, press and hold. Wait for the Earth to come back out. There we go. Let me shine this again. Does the Earth have anything special? Not really. It does glow, which is cool. But yes, I beat everybody. So, if you're trying to check if your Moonswatch, mission to Earthphase, Moonshine Gold, if you're trying to wonder if it's fake, just take that black light and shine it there. I feel like that's quite an intricate detail that I don't think the fakes would be able to replicate easily. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we finished the instruction manual, by the way, or the presentation manual. So if you're still watching, thanks for sticking by. Who is this watch for? So I think this is for, well, this is for the scalpers, unfortunately, right? This is a limited edition. It got a lot of hype online. So I'm already seeing like people trying to sell it for like double the price of a 500 Canadian dollars. So that's unfortunate. So scalpers, they'll love it. I think people who, if you just love moon swatches in general, like this is another great pickup. But also if you're someone who is not fully satisfied with the other releases, if you felt like, there was always something wrong, right? You just didn't like the previous ones, but you started to, be impressed by what was going on. Because that's basically me. Like there was a point where I was like, you know what, moon swatches are kind of overrated. But then they came out with the 1965 Moonswatch. And I was like, that kind of looks nice. I always wanted a white Speedmaster. And then they came out with the gray Earthphase, which is the very first Earthphase before this one. And I also thought like, wow, that actually looks pretty nice. Like I like that design. I think they're doing good things here. So I don't think the Moonswatch is resting on their laurels. I do think their initial Moonshine watches were kind of like gimmicky because they just changed the hour hand, they changed the chronograph hand to a gold hand. Like that was kind of a waste. But the recent moon swatches, they're actually pretty good. And let me just show you that chronograph movement again. It works like any other chronograph by the Moonswatch collection. We'll stop it there, reset. Now, of course, with the Earthphase, you can't track the minutes of a chronograph, but honestly, like who uses chronographs nowadays? I think most people would just use their phone. But you can see here, like the tachymeter still works fine. You have your plastic, your plastic crystal. So everything like that. And of course, bioceramic case, all that is the same. So going back, it's for scalpers. It's for people who have been waiting for like a more unique Moonswatch to come out. I think like Swatch has been doing a pretty good job at releasing new and interesting watches. If you're someone who's been waiting for that perfect Snoopy collaboration, I think this is a really good design. You can see, okay, I think there's a hair, but I think, oh, you know what? That's actually kind of cool. You can see that message printed out. I mean, it's in white, so you can't really see it, but you can kind of see the speech bubble there. So those are reasons why you would buy a watch like this. I think for me, am I going to keep this watch? I think this is the watch I'm going to keep. This is the Moonswatch I'm going to carry forward. And part of it's because I don't think I'll have time to buy. I don't have time to wait like 4 or 5 hours to buy another watch. I can't wait for another drop if it's going to take that long to get. So this, I think this is going to be my permanent Moonswatch because I always liked the idea. And I think this one so far has been the best execution yet of this model. All right, so here's a third-person perspective of the Moonswatch Mission to Earthphase Moonshine Gold. You can see here on my 6-inch wrist. It's a 42mm watch, so it is a little bit on the big side, and it just barely fits because the lugs are small, so that's something to keep in mind. But again, the strap, very comfortable. It feels a lot better than the first generation moon swatches, so I do appreciate that they offered this in, again, small, medium, large, and extra large. And the moon phase and the earth phase kind of give it, because the background is a dark blue, kind of almost gives it like a panda look. And overall, I like the contrast between the white dial and the dark blue case and the dark blue elements inside the dial. Again, I think this is the best moon swatch to date. So hopefully you guys got it at retail. Try and avoid those scalper prices if you can. But again, sometimes you can't avoid it. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more content. And as always, see you guys next time.